Hello everyone and welcome back to my The Young and Restless 24 YouTube channel. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Before we start, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. At the club, Kyle and Claire talk about Jack and Diane. He teases that they still have their differences, like which James Bond movie they'll watch. Kyle learns Claire has no way seen them and explains that Bond drinks martinis. He pours them champagne and she asks what they're celebrating. Just also, Summer walks in and tells Kyle they need to talk. It's about Harrison. Looking irritated, Claire offers to step away so they can talk. Summer tells Kyle that she's concerned what Harrison will hear about her mama at Academy. She's really missing, and there are Bobby's children in his class. He's formerly had questions because he was supposed to play clunk pong with Phyllis History. This aloud makes Kyle smile. He assures Summer she's not being overprotective. Summer thinks they need to prepare him. They need to talk to their son, tonight. Summer knows her mama can take care of herself, but this is driving her crazy and she's trying to concentrate on the effects she can control. Kyle argues that they should intrude their son's movie night with his parents, but Summer worries that if he hears about Phyllis going missing he'll flash back to when Jordan abducted him and feel hysterical. Do they want that for indeed a moment? Kyle concedes that she's right. Summer's sorry she intruded his romantic regale. Kyle stands. They'll go up and talk to Harrison, who'll always come first. Claire returns and asks if they need further time. Kyle is sorry, but Summer made him realize they need to talk to Harrison about Phyllis. Claire understands. Kyle asks her to stay for him. Summer doesn't want to rush their talk with Harrison. Claire tells Kyle to take all the time he needs and kisses him. She'll stay at the bar. Formerly there, she orders a martini. Nick joins Victoria at Society and thanks her for meeting him. They talk about Sharon and Phyllis going missing. Victoria says it's so unlike Phyllis to stay off the radar, and remarks on neither of them calling him back. Nick's not sure what to suppose. Victor sighs that it's been quite a time for their family. Nick admits it's getting harder and harder to stay positive. She says they've to lean on each other and stay strong for their kiddies. That's what Sharon and Phyllis would want him to do. Nick thinks his family is right about the kiddies. No matter how old they are, they pick up on stuff. Victoria muses about them always managing to put on a stalwart face. Nick says he was talking to Billy about that earlier. He shares that he stopped by earlier to bandy Phyllis. Victoria says they're both great fathers, they've that in common. She tells Nick he doesn't always have to be so strong. Nick admits it would be nice if there was a day when effects didn't fall piecemeal and he didn't have to worry. Victoria thinks that's coming. She points out Victor's recovering, Nikki's sober, and Claire is eventually relieved of Jordan. She's sure Phyllis and Sharon will reach out soon. Nick hopes she's right, but he has a sinking feeling they're in real peril. In the abandoned internal sanitarium, Phyllis cries out. She's in pain and feels like she drank battery acid. Sharon coaxes her to drink the bottle with the sticker. They realize Phyllis's palpitation is contending. Sharon's sure that she was poisoned by water when she drinks the one with the sticker, it'll be the end. Phyllis is undecided. Sharon reminds her it's a game. Phyllis questions if it's just game over for her. Sharon calls out to the voice to ask if she got the mystery correct. Phyllis trusts her lower than she does the voice, who needs to answer right now. Phyllis continues to agonize on the lounge and yells as Sharon continues trying to move her to drink the cure. They get to agitating Sharon poisoning Daniel's whiskey. Sharon reminds her she indicted her of trying to run her off the road. You were wrong about me also, and you're wrong about me now. She hands her the water bottle. Phyllis still won't drink. Sharon can't force her. This is your call. Phyllis eventually tells her to give her the bottle. Whether it kills her or not, at least she won't have to hear to her tone-righteous voice presently. Shut up. She drinks and they stay. At Society, Nick doesn't know what to tell his kiddies. They don't know that Sharon and Phyllis are in trouble, and that's the verity. He can lie to the kiddies. Victoria suppositions he can't lie to himself. I can tell from the look on your face that you're 100% convinced that Sharon and Phyllis need your help, aren't you? Daniel appears. He's with him on that. He's telling Lucy everything's forfeiture, but tries to tell himself that and he just can't buy it. Nick admits it's getting harder and harder to explain why they've gone truant for so long. Daniel worries they'll no way see Sharon or his mama again. Daniel has been in constant contact with Chance and the force has come up with absolutely nothing. Now Summer's freaking out and Lucy's asking why her grandmother isn't texting her reverse. He can't shoot her on stint with Danny again without tilting her off. Victoria suggests Lucy come out to the estate. Daniel appreciates that. Nick is telling Daniel they both have a lot of questions, but no answers, when Chance walks in. He's glad they're both there. He has news about Sharon and Phyllis. They now have substantiation that they need to be set up. They've footage of a windowless white van driving around the corner they last saw Phyllis on footage. Also, the same van was caught on camera leaving the Cassidy First parking lot, where Sharon's auto was left before. Since also, there's been no sign of Phyllis or Sharon. In the internal institution, Phyllis is still alive but feels her stomach is full of fish hooks being pulled out. Sharon urges her to drink the rest of the bottle of water. Phyllis does, and also throws it. Sharon wants her to get up and move around. Phyllis asks if she's trying to make her heave. Sharon thinks it'll get the cure into her system briskly and to help her. She hoists her to her bases and drags her around in a couple of circles. Phyllis has to go back to the lounge, she's too weak. But she feels like the pain is fading. Sharon tells Phyllis they passed the test. Phyllis is brimming with sanguinity. Sharon points out they should celebrate that she didn't die. Phyllis complains about being held and turned by a psychotic game show host. She hollers that if he lets them go she promises not to rip his eyes out when she sees him. Sharon says they won. Phyllis asks, what about coming round? The buzzers sound loudly and the voice congratulates Sharon, who rants about him physically hurting one of them. Can we at least play nice? The buzzer blares. Sharon says, they wanted me to save you. This was a part of the game. She could just as fluently have been the bone. Who drank the alloyed water? It could have been her writhing on the bottom. She wonders if it had been her, would you have saved me? Sharon doesn't believe Phyllis would stand actively by while she failed, indeed though she hates her. Phyllis muses, perhaps I wouldn't have unraveled the mystery. Easily, I'm not as smart as you, Sharon. Sharon tells her if this is how she wants to play it, if abhorring her is the distraction she needs right now, she's good with that. Sharon recaps that they still detest each other, but she's glad Phyllis is okay. For the record, she believes if the tables were turned, she'd have done the same thing. They debate whether Sharon saving her life goes toward earning Phyllis's remission. The redhead knows she wants to talk but she's exhausted after what her body has gone through. She can't get off the settee. Sharon urges her to rest. She'll watch over her. Phyllis whispers, thank you. Thank you for saving my life. Sharon replies, you're welcome. At the club bar, Claire sips her martini as Holden comes by. They get to talking about a variation on the libation, and Holden orders 2 matins so she can try one. Claire tastes it. She likes it better than the classic martini. They keep talking as he educates her. He teases, they say, pick your bane. This is mine. She muses, perhaps mine too. He learns she hasn't seen the Bond pictures, but suppose Daniel Craig is sexy. Holden brings up his friend who's into old books. They introduce themselves and toast as Kyle and Summer return. Summer muses, it looks like Claire has made a new friend. Kyle butts in between Holden and Claire and updates her on their converse with Harrison. Summer says goodnight and smiles as she walks down. Kyle asks Claire, is that a martini? She says it's actually a Vesper. This gentleman introduced me to them. Holden nods. Back at their table, Kyle apologizes again to Claire for the interruption. Summer puts on a strong front, but I can tell she's really spooked about her mama. Claire's not hovered by her. Kyle asks if that's liquid courage. Claire asks if she needs it. Kyle reassures her. Claire decides she might have another drink. It's hard to tell how hard it's hitting. She's always a little light-headed around him. Nick remains hopeful as Sharon fears the worst. At society, Nick tells Daniel, Victoria, and Chance that now that they've a lead on Sharon and Phyllis, they're going to bring them home. In the internal sanitarium, Sharon covers Phyllis as she sleeps. The voice tells her, "Well done, Sharon. You're one step closer to emancipation." Sharon asks what the hell that means. Why does it count so important to him that she and Phyllis attune? What's in it for you? The voice says it's an accomplishment. He denies that it's particular. Think of this as in trial and nothing further. Sharon cries, "We're lab rats?" She wants to know if they'll be set free if they win. Or do you have commodity differently in mind? The voice tells her to rest. Hereafter will be a busy day for the two of them. He blares the loud buzzer. Sharon screams in frustration. Phyllis wakes up and the Golden tells her, "I do and suppose we're getting out of then any time soon."